Welcome, evolutionaries. This is part 2 for the Harmonic Temple, and I'm just going to keep rolling because this is really exciting for me as we talk about up-leveling your vibe, your life force, increasing your immune system, creating this dynamic healing system, or reactivating it so that you have all the power, all the health that you need, and can live to whatever age you choose or that God has designed for you to exit the game. So let's continue. So let's talk about, I've talked about meat, I've talked about, but I haven't talked about dairy yet. But let me kind of finish one thing on meat is that the things that they put into cows, I say things, the drugs, the growth hormones, the hormones, and actually a lot of people don't know this, but the same antibiotics that we get when we go to the doctor when we're sick, and not me personally because I don't do that stuff. That's like crazy stuff. I'm not putting anything in my body. But the antibiotics that they give you, let's say like penicillin, and this is a great example, they give to the animals. And so did you ever wonder, or have you ever wondered, why penicillin became ineffective? Why they stopped using penicillin and had to go to different variations of penicillin? Well, it's because they were injecting the cows, because the cows and the chickens and the pigs were so sick. And this is, I've seen videos, I've worked with Mercy for Animals and some of these other amazing groups. They go in and capture this footage of the atrocities of the way they're treating, and the living conditions, the way they treat these animals. It's heartbreaking. And I continue to support these organizations today. But when you look at penicillin, because of the diseased animals that they are using for your food, they're trying to keep them alive long enough in order to get them to make hamburgers out of. And what happens is they use so much penicillin and other antibiotics, it makes it ineffective for you. And I'm talking about you evolutionaries, but the other people that are following the standard American diet. So what happens is because people are consuming the food that was injected with penicillin and other antibiotics, because you've consumed so much food, you've built up a resistance to that specific antibiotic. And so that antibiotic doesn't work anymore. That's why penicillin stopped working. Crazy. And people don't really think about this stuff. And this is stuff that is, it can change your life. Let me give you another example, because I hinted at hormones and growth hormones, because back in the day, chickens used to be this big. Today, they're this big. Cows used to be this big, and today they're this big. So why is that? Because they inject them with growth hormones. They want them to get bigger because that's what they do. And then the other thing, which most people don't think about, is they're feeding them genetically modified corn. So the toxins of the genetically modified organisms, which I talked about earlier, these are being fed into the cows that are being eaten, that are not organic. So they're not grass-fed. These are highly toxic animals. And why are the growth hormones, why is that important, Joe? Well, let's say you do have cancer. And a regular doctor won't tell you this because, quite frankly, they want to make money off prescriptions and surgeries and this and that. But if you have cancer and the growth hormones that they have now given to that cow or chicken or pig or whatever animal it is, guess what? That growth hormone not only impacts the size of the cow, it will permeate in your body, and now the cancer goes poof, poof, poof. It grows because the growth hormone also activates and acts as a growth mechanism for the abnormal cells in your body. And yet the doctors don't tell you this. Again, there are so many things which I wish I could talk about, which I really can't go into, at least publicly, that they do to these animals. It's absolutely, it's saddening because they are portraying this as food, and it's not food. It is highly corrupted, and it is designed to impact you, make you dumb. It's just really saddening to me. So next, I want to talk about dairy. So dairy, like Joe, milkshakes. I know, I love milkshakes when I was younger. But dairy is also just one of those things where, again, the cows are fed the growth hormones and stuff, and it creates this mucus system in your body. And I know that when I turned vegan, and I have plenty of friends when they turn vegan, just a month or two after, not even a month or two, a few weeks maybe, after they turn vegan, their nose stopped running. They stopped aching and things, and the mucus and things. And the other interesting thing, not interesting, but the other truth is that when you take meat out of your diet, inflammation goes away. Because I know people that can't even move, and arthritis and just different things, and then they start going to a plant-based diet, and that inflammation goes away. The mucus goes away. Down here in the South, because I'm in Texas, we have sinuses and oak trees and pollen and different things. And I can tell you that any vegan that's on a true plant-based diet, because there are plant-based vegans, and then there are junk food vegans, because I can eat a bag of potato chips, right? I can still be a vegan. I'm not eating super healthy, but I'm still vegan. So the point is to eat healthy, eat high raw. But it will remove the mucus and other things from your body when you remove dairy. And I can tell you, if you still want milk or cheese or whatever it might be, I could tell you the vegan products today are outstanding. Now, I've always drank almond milk, and of course, organic almond milk. And of course, I still have my glass of wine every now and then. Of course, it's always organic. So you can still have fun. You don't need to go crazy, but it's amazing what they can do with food today, with plants today. And they've been able to do these amazing dishes with plants at some of the fanciest restaurants around the world for, I don't know, at least 15 years. But of course, a guy I used to hang out with used to give me total grief. Now, I say hang out. I mean, we hung out a couple times, and last time I saw him, I was drinking vodka out of a crystal skull glass. And so he wrote this on a book for me. And I just printed it out, so it's not a great copy, but if you can see, it says, "To Joe, eat a effing burger," Anthony Bourdain. So Tony was awesome. And actually, I'm still connected with Zamir, and I've invested in a couple of Zamir's companies. He's the Russian handler that took him to the submarine base and stuff. Anyway, Zamir's a hoot. And it's definitely worth watching some of those old episodes of Bourdain and Zamir. So back on this. So growth hormones. And the other really sad thing, if you drink milk, they tell you it does a body good. Well, they're lying because of the mucus and everything else. But not only that, the milk itself has a decalcifying. Yes, there's calcium in milk, but milk is very acidic. So it actually decalcifies your body. What does that mean? So it means that women, as an example, who drink milk, it creates honeycombs in your blood or your bones, and for men as well. But because women typically have thinner bones, it's more noticeable in a woman, and you won't know that until you are, let's say, in your 60s or 70s, and you trip and you fall, and you break your hip, or you put your arm out and you break your arm. Why is that? It's because you've been lied to. Milk will actually honeycomb and destroy the structure of your bones. And then when we get to milk, remember that in order for any animal to produce milk, they've got to be pregnant. And what they do for these cows is they keep them perpetually pregnant. It is the saddest thing. And as soon as the baby is born, the baby is taken away. And I'm not even going to talk about what they do to the baby. And then they get the mother on these machines, and then when she runs dry, they do it again. And then they do it again until she can't stand up anymore. And it's really saddening. So the machines they use, because they do this, and it's just so awful, that her udders begin bleeding. And so they're infected. And so when you are drinking cow's milk, it's got blood and pus in it. I don't have any other way to tell you. So you're drinking infection Isn't that crazy to think about? You're drinking infection. Plus, you're drinking the fear and the agony, the pain of that animal. And not only of just the torture of what they're going through with these machines and how they're being milked. Now, there are some good farms out there, don't get me wrong. But for the big CAFOs, which are the big dairy farms and such, pure evil in my mind because of what they do. And then I've actually seen videos back in the day when I was very active an animal activist, where once this like one cow, dairy cow, fell over, and she actually still had the things attached to her udders. They just unplugged her. She couldn't walk. They came in with a forklift and picked her up and took her off for slaughter. So that is the type of hamburger you're eating. Why would you ever want to eat that? And when I say that, so many people don't ask questions. And this, I'm really big on you evolutionaries asking questions and learning. And it's so vital for us to ask questions to get to the truth and peer beyond the veil. Because the wizard is a little short guy, right? That's really the truth with many things that they try to pull over us. And again, fear equals low vibration. And again, I'm talking to you and want to share with you about how to raise the vibration in your harmonic temple, this temple that your soul resides in. And if you're eating death, because that's what this is death, this is poison, this is unstable emotional fear that these animals are feeling before they are slaughtered and while they are slaughtered. And I've seen this. It is, again, incredibly saddening. And here I try to bring love, and I look at this, and it's just saddening to me. So, stay away from this if you can. Or again, choose organic, choose grass-fed beef. Know the farmer or the rancher who has taken a vested interest in raising the animal so that you know that you're not putrefying your body with incessant toxins and these genetically modified organisms and growth hormones that are disrupting everything of who you are. So next I want to talk about, if I can get the paper to open, is where are you? So as I kind of wrap this up and talk about life force, I also want to talk about really, again, where you are on this scale. And I wanted this to be visual. So again, where are you? And my goal is to get you up here at least 80%. And I really want to, and happy to answer questions. You can email me, and we'll get on a Zoom call because I'm vested in your success. I mean, because there's just things that you won't learn unless you go to an old guy like me, an old salt, if you will, who's been around this and knows this, and I've talked to some of the best people. And if I don't know an answer, I really know where to point you. Like for example, if I have something wrong and I can't figure it out, which is rare, but it happens, I've got some really awesome naturopathic doctors. And I tell people this stuff, and they're like, well, how is that possible? So like one of my naturopathic doctors, she's got a device, and I know others that have devices like this, where I say, hey, I've got this thing, I can't figure out what's going on. And she goes, okay, well, let me scan you. I'm like, great, thanks. And so the next day, she'll send me an email with a complete diagnosis. Did I go in to see her? No. So the technology that she has that is available, which most people have no idea about, is she scans my body remotely. I could be on the other side of the planet, and she can give me a complete and total scan, tell me exactly what's going on with every aspect of my body. I don't need a CAT scan or CT scan. I don't need an MRI. I go to her or someone I know like her, and they tell me exactly what's going on. And then they prescribe natural ingredients, supplementation. And again, I think I mentioned this earlier, but if I didn't, I'll mention it again. Most people are deficient, vitamin deficient, mineral deficient. I do even little things like I drink out of copper because copper is so important to the body. And it's a trace mineral. So I just drink out of, and I also one of the things I forgot to mention earlier is water. So the body is 80% water. So water is a conduit. So if you're drinking bad water, it's going to clog up the system as well. So I've got I'm crazy, a very expensive water filtration system. But there are great water filtration systems out there that will purify water, remove a lot of the impurities, including fluoride. Anyway, fluoride? Yes! Fluoride, believe it or not, is what the Germans used during World War II to stupefy people. So the fluoride they put in the drinking water system, in your toothpaste as an example, is typically an industrial grade fluoride. Now your dentist probably uses a higher grade, which is, I still don't do that. I don't allow them to give me fluoride. And I've got perfect teeth. I had a few cavities when I was younger, but I've got perfect teeth. So the fluoride stupefies you. It takes away your motivation. And again, this is planned by them because they want to control you. And I'm trying to free you from their matrix. And food is a big part of their matrix. And so when you do eat and you eat cleanly, you'll increase your bone density. You'll have mental sharpness. Your immune system will go up. And you'll feel better, more vibrant. You'll need less sleep. Life will be great, and so will, sex. My point is you live larger. Like I talked about these vegan athletes, their performance, your body, it is proven to heal faster on a plant-based diet. There have been plenty world records that have been broken by plant-based athletes. As a matter of fact, one thing that most people don't know is the gladiators, some of the most fierce warriors on the planet. They found a graveyard outside of Rome that has, I think, 6,000 gladiator bodies. And again, these were the champions. And when they did the studies and going in and checking the bones and of all 6,000, they found out that over 80% of gladiators were vegan and vegetarian. They had a very nominal meat diet. And that was their choice because they knew they healed faster. It's fascinating that historically, this has been known, and yet it's been kept and shielded from us to, again, keep us toxified, to keep us stupered in a stupor, and not living up to our full potential. So do's. Eat organic. Very important. No pesticides. Eat raw. Again, the enzymes, the living foods. Eat clean. And again, same thing. And when I say clean, one of the biggest challenges with mineral deficiency is back in the day, you'd pull out, let's say, a scallion, an onion, or whatever it was, a carrot. It'd still have dirt on it. You'd shake the dirt off, and then you eat it right there with the dirt on it. We don't do that anymore because the dirt back in the day was fortified, if you will, with minerals and true nutrients which fed the plants. We've actually destroyed that today, but there are still great organic farms that do the right thing. And so, again, when I say clean, clean is pure, but you can eat a dirty plant as well from an organic farm. Non-processed. Remember, 1,000 cows to make up one hamburger at a fast food joint. And then again, they put nanobots in the food to track you. So be cautious. It's crazy. It is absolutely insane what they've done to adulterify the food. Supplement. Grab supplements. And if you not a big supplement person, I'll tell you, your doctor will actually tell you, oh, you don't need vitamins. That's not true. They get paid to keep you sick. So when the AMA, American Medical Association, was founded and really kind of conquered the naturopathic, holistic doctors, AMA was actually founded by the Rockefellers. Most prescription drugs, pills, have petroleum products encoded, not saying encoded, what's the word I'm looking for, in the structure. So that, again, it harms you because they want you sick. And again, the Rockefellers, we can't trust the Rockefellers. I mean, they are, anyway, Standard Oil. And this is actually very interesting as well. So I know a lot about history because I've studied all of the things that they did. You know, back in the day, you'll find electric cars and cars that actually ran off alcohol. So when they actually did the, what was it? I just went blank on the name, where they cut all the alcohol off and made everybody like not stop drinking. That had nothing to do with people drinking. The Rockefellers and several other wealthy families stopped prohibition. So prohibition. The Rockefellers actually had a law passed that put prohibition in place. And what that did is they took all of the alcohol and shut it down so that they could start putting gasoline in cars. And that's how they built their monopoly. So again, look beyond the veil. There are so many things that are hidden. So eat dehydrated food. I've got a wonderful dehydrator. Again, foods under 118 degrees. And again, I don't know the Celsius, but it's easy to translate just on the internet. Raw juices. And this is really important. So when you juice or drink a smoothie, make sure that the juice or the smoothie is organic. And why do I say that? Well, because if you juice something and it's not organic, there's pesticides, you're actually getting concentrated pesticides and toxins in that juice. And that fills your body because, again, the juice is bioavailable, but it's also using it as a carrier to toxify your body faster. So any type of juicing, any type of smoothie, it's important to use organics. And some people have looked at me and said, well, Joe, what about bananas? Bananas, I eat regular bananas all the time. And I'm like, well, that's a mistake. Like, why? They have a skin, they're protected. No, they're not. And actually what they do is they spray the bananas, the green bananas, with, again, a petroleum and ethylene product. And the ethylene product actually turns them yellow faster, ripens them faster. So again, even with a banana, you think you might be protected. You're eating ethylene. You're eating a petroleum product. And again, all petroleum products cause cancer, period. It is the way it works. What else? I didn't talk about fasting because that's not really directly food related, but fasting is also important because it clears out all the dead cells in your body. I fasted 10 plus days. You're not going to starve to death. After the first day or two and the hunger pangs kind of fade away, you actually get enlivened. You're full of energy because, again, your body is no longer using it to digest. And the energy that is the number one consumer, again, not sex, but it's digestion, is you can really feel a difference. And then, again, you're taking, when you are fasting, your body removes damaged cells. So anything that might be cancer causing and other types of things in your body are typically flushed out. And there are great people out there that talk about and go into fasting protocols. There are wonderful people out there that if you really want to get interested, and I'll put some of their names in the comment section, of people that I used to follow, like Gabriel Cousins, David Wolf, and some of these other people that I ran around with back, when raw food was like a cool hippie thing, because that's me. So I hope this was educational. Again, life over death. This all comes to, like the doctor said, eat an apple away, or whoever said this, eat an apple a day to keep the doctor away. And that's absolutely true. I put an apple in my smoothie with blueberries, with bananas. I do have an organic protein mix, and I drink and do other things as well. So my whole goal, hopefully, was to enlighten you a little bit about the dangers and treachery within the current food system and give you some guidance on just, again, being organic, raw, eat more plants. And again, ask me any questions. This is so very important for me to have you here with me, living a long, prosperous, healthy life so we can celebrate God's victory over this increasing tyranny, because we not only will win, we have won, period. No question about it. And so I love you guys so very much, and thank you for allowing me to do this two-part episode on food and nourishing your harmonic temple. I am Joe Heller, and I love you guys so much. Talk to you in the next episode. Bye-bye.